Then the next day we traveled by car and entered Abkhazia. Little did we know that an operation had been planned for that very day. When an armed group led by Gargarashvili stormed in, I saw a tank and several armored vehicles.
Was it the first time?
It was the first time. It wasn't a combat operation, more of a show of power. They drove to the river Pso and drank water from the river. That was their way of demonstrating that it is a Georgian river, and that all the land up to the Pso is Georgian territory. Basically then, they were indulging themselves. It made the Abkhazians even more furious with the Georgians. But the Abkhazians let them through when an agreement was reached that they would drink the water and then leave. Actually, they were already gone. When we reached the building on Frun Street, I don't remember what it's called these days, the one where the headquarters of Aidgilara, the Abkhazian national movement, is located. The others stayed behind in the vehicle, while I got out to go up and meet with the leaders face to face. Inside the entrance hall and the staircase up to the first floor was totally crowded with young Abkhazians. I knew then that they were a militia, men who followed the recent developments, and saw that an armed Georgian troop had penetrated Abkhazia. And they were being called to arms. And you know what amazed me? There were 2 whole floors completely crowded with people. But the whole place was so silent that you could literally hear a pin drop. I imagined what it would have been like if Georgian guys were there. The kind of men I knew and hung out with at the time in Tbilisi. It would have been noise and chatter, shouting, somebody joking, somebody else swearing, but this was complete silence. And what I understood was that they knew what kind of thing they were getting into, and that they might not come out of it alive. So imagine the Georgians were gearing up. They were expecting a war, and of course they were expecting that they would win that war. And they were relying on arithmetic, so many of us and so few of them. Whereas the Abkhazians, when they decided to go to war, they knew that they could lose everything. Not only their lives, but the whole Abkhazian nation could be wiped out, crossed out from the history. That's what amazed me. 2 floors filled with young men, all standing in silence. Later, I met someone I knew among them, and we started talking. My words were the only sound. And another thing, I was sitting again at the table, and a young man of 15 to 18, one of those guards, came up and said, "Excuse me, sir." That's how he addressed me. Yes, a Georgian, of course, from one of the guards' units. "I'm supposed to leave tomorrow to go back to Tbilisi. War with the Abkhazians is not going to break out before then, is it?" I said, "Come on, why would the war break out? Absolutely not. Are you serious? No way will there be a war." That made me think that they were expecting that war. Then there was this one young man I knew, who'd spent time with those young guards, and when I spoke to him, I asked, "So what's the mood among the guards?" "You have to understand," he said, "before they were fighting against the Georgians, and now they had to fight on Georgia's side." That's the way things were moving, bit by bit. That's how things were. But here's the main thing I wanted to say. When we were in Sukhumi, we met with many representatives of Abkhazia. including those who were not distinguished back then, but later became prominent. And we also met with Ardzimba. And Ardzimba proposed us a model for a Georgian-Abkhazian settlement. These were his exact words: the Republic of Abkhazia within the structure of the Republic of Georgia. As I understand it, he was saying, let's not use the word autonomy. Look, when you talk to your people, when he was talking about the members of the Georgian parliament, he never referred to them as such. It was always them. Tell them that this is the way to do it, that they should agree for us to adopt the title of Republic of Abkhazia. Look how in Russia there used to be the Adygea Autonomous Territory, but now it's the Republic of Adygea, and no big deal. I understand that a change of name isn't a substantial change, but it's what we need to let out some steam, so that we can tell our people, look, we're getting somewhere. And after that, let's create a model where there's the Republic of Abkhazia as a component part of the Republic of Georgia. And then, after that, let's appoint a commission and we'll divide the competencies and authorities. To begin with, he said, we'll leave defense, foreign affairs, and finance to Tbilisi. Tbilisi will control all of those. And for everything else, we'll set up a joint commission and let the commission decide. Except, he said, don't let any historians into the commission, apart from Georgian-Abkhazian. Well, when we left and arrived here, while we were on our way, because that was a whole other story. Since we had to make our way from Sukhumi to Tbilisi via Batumi, because of the situation. Well, anyway, it was decided. I was very pleased, and so was the whole group. We didn't even put forward what we ourselves were going to propose to the Abkhazians. Because, as it turned out, what Ardzimba was proposing was far better for the Georgians than what we had written, the Abkhazian Commission.